Hi, and welcome to Sask Music's Indigenous History Month interview series. My name is LJ Tyson, and I am joined today by a good friend of mine from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. They have been such a guiding light in the queer community, the Two-Spirit communities, and I'm very, very pleased to welcome Jennifer Lenny to the interview series today. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
So Jen, I wanted to talk about the group you're a part of, the group that you're being a representative of today, the Spirit Strong Singers. But before we dive into all of that, because there's a lot I need to ask you about that, where did your journey with drumming start?
So for me, it really started in ceremony, but even before that, going to uh, powwows when I was a children and hearing the drums and hearing the songs there, I just felt really drawn to that drumming. And so when I began my own journey back into culture and back into my own healing, and when I was in recovery from alcohol and marijuana were my drugs of choice, I went back to the sweat lodge ceremonies and grandmother moon ceremonies, and I would hear drumming there, and so for me that's where it started. And it was in one of those a sweat lodge ceremony that I gave I gave a I prayed to find my voice. And at the time, I just was scared to speak up for myself. I was scared to just step out of fear in a lot of different ways. And so I prayed to find my voice. And shortly after that, I was gifted a drum, and I gave that away. Because at the time I was thinking I wasn't worthy, and I was still stuck in a lot of that self-doubt and negative thinking about me myself. And I was given 2 more drums after that. I gave those away again. And then an elder told me that I need to start keeping the things I was given and create my own bundle. And I didn't really understand what that meant, bundle. But drums kept coming to me. People kept giving me drums. And I started creating a drum bundle, and of all different types of drums. And some I've purchased, like some of the non-traditional type of drums, and so that's where it started, was creating this bundle, and and being with other drum groups in the community that I was a part of over the years, and that's what led to becoming involved with Spirit Strong Singers, which was led by one of my elders, and then I helped with that. And so it was that's how it started with me, is that call to find my own identity and my own voice.
And speaking on identity, at what point does drumming go from something that you are thinking about to becoming part of your identity? Where is that point?
Oh, that's a good question. For me, it just happened naturally through ceremony. I would learn songs just by going to ceremonies and listening to the songs and singing them, and then I'd be passed a drum to sing a song at a ceremony, and so it just sort of developed from there, and then becoming involved with different drum groups that were in the community, and just learning, and then slowly creating my own bundle, my own medicine, I guess.
Right. And that's exactly what it is. It's medicine, it's healing. I am always so moved. Even at Prince Albert Pride, the Spirit Strong Singers had opened up the event with a song, and it's healing for the soul. It's healing for the community. It is like you say, a medicine. To jump into the Spirit Strong Singers, which I'm very hesitant, and I know they've been introduced at public events as a women's drum group. I'm hesitant to say a women's drum group because I know there are two-spirit individuals involved, and like yourself, who are at the very core of the group. Does it bother you when people do label it as a women's drumming group?
It does, because we're not a women's drum group. And when Spirit Strong Singers were first getting together and singing and drumming, that was something we thought about, was about our name. And we didn't want to call ourselves sisters because we wanted to be very mindful that there are gender diverse and two-spirit people who were part of the group. And so we chose the name Singers so that gender wasn't a part of our identity. And so we call ourselves a two-spirit woman drum group. And by two-spirit, that doesn't necessarily mean female identified, or it's or female looking. It's about two-spirit people can look and be an identity multiple different ways. And so it however a person defines themselves, they're welcome to come to our group.
To speak on those sort of colonial gender roles, I know personally, as an Indigenous person, I've come across some people who have given their opinion of women aren't traditionally part of a drum group, which I never felt very comfortable with. And I know a lot of people disagree with those teachings. What's your opinion on that?
So I have been taught and believe everybody has different teachings. Teachings can be different even in one's own family. Can hold different family members can hold different teachings that fit for them, or they've learned from different teachers and different elders. And there are drums and ceremonies that are women led or male led or two-spirit led. So I honor that. But I also honor those that teaching that the drum came from women, and not just women, but when you think about people with wombs, the first thing that children hear are that is that heartbeat, the heartbeat of the person who is carrying that life, and that can be a woman, that can be a trans person, so that that teaching that it comes from that creation, and whatever that creation and that energy is. People who don't have wombs don't have that creation, right? And you could say that's men. And so I don't believe in that teaching that women or two-spirit people can't drum, because there's that energy already. And so I've done a little bit of research over the years, and I've talked with different people, and a lot of that what gets called teachings or really comes from a colonial aspect, or which we didn't have that originally before contact. And so women and two-spirit people were involved in ceremonies and did carry different sacred items, and did drum and did carry songs, and were involved in the healing, and so a lot that changed with contact, and that also changed somewhere in the 70s, especially among the powwow circle, about saying that women couldn't play the big drum. And so that culture evolves over time, and doesn't always evolve in a way that is still welcoming and still embraces what originally was meant to be. And there's a creation story, which I won't get into now because it would take a little bit of time, but a creation story too of how the drum came to be, and it was gifted to the people from women. And so it was never intended for that drum to be given to the men for their healing and their help, and for them to take care of, and for it not to come back. And so women and Two-Spirit people are finding their way back to culture, find the way back to ceremony, and they're finding their way back into the circle and back to whatever that means for them. And part of that includes drumming, whether that's hand drums or the big drum. And that I find that so exciting, and just so beautiful to see those circles being revitalized, and for people to find their voices in whatever way that means for them.
It is so encouraging, like you said, to see Two-Spirit people and women finding their way, finding their calling, I guess, to the drum, whether that, like you said, hand drum or big drum. It is kind of sad to think about how many stories, how many songs, how many years and years and years of people being pushed aside and told, and women and Two-Spirit people being told they can't. How many stories have we missed out on? How many beautiful songs and melodies have we missed on because they were told they can't for so long? So it is very encouraging and great to see it starting to reclaim its space. That's great to see. At the end of these interviews, Jen, I usually ask the artists where they can reach, where people can find them on social media to reach out to, like, book for gigs and things. I know this time we have to go a little bit deeper into that, so I want to touch on that for 2 seconds. If people do want to include the Spirit Strong singers in their events, or invite them to things, I know there's proper protocol that is followed and must be respectfully followed. How would you like people to reach out to the group?
Well, we do have a Facebook page called Spirit Strong Singers, and we also have an email, spiritstrong-singers@gmail.com. And so either one of those is great. People can message us or email, and then we can have a conversation about protocol. And I was told that invite includes tobacco, and just enough tobacco to fill a pipe. It doesn't need to be, it's a large pinch. It doesn't need to be a whole pouch. It doesn't need to be a package of cigarettes or a canister. It's just enough for a prayer, and then that gets offered to for singing at a big drum. It gets offered to the big drum, and if it's for us individually, then that gets passed around to the group. So those are only protocols, and they're welcome to reach out to us in either the Facebook or the email. I do want to say though, I don't think songs or things are ever lost. They're there, and sometimes that they come back to us in spirit, in prayer, and that's sort of I've sometimes been out for a walk and a song has come to me, and I just believe that spirit of that song, is finding its way, and if I'm to help with that, then it's there. I've been out on the land, and songs have come, either through the wind and the trees, or through the songs of the birds, or even through the fire. Like those, I believe that those things are never lost. It's up to us to find them, and we find that by going back to the land, by going back to ceremony, by being in prayer in whatever way that means for you, because there's all different ways to do that. And the spirit of that song and those prayers come back. They find us when we need to.
That made my heart feel full. I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Jen, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for being a teacher to others and for carrying on these songs, because I know a lot of songs that you've learned from other people and you teach to other people, and I find that so valuable to a community, especially a community that like we had previously talked about is reclaiming a space and finding its way back into the circle. So thank you so much for all you do, and I am so honored every time I get to see the Spirit Strong singers perform, because it is, like I said, it's medicine, it's healing. And thank you so much for taking the time to let me interview you today.
Oh, no worries. Thank you so much.